If it's a great program, having good impact, it's also something that should be sustained.
How are we going to make sure that this is going to be available into the future?
Welcome to Achieving Sustainability, a 5-part video series supporting grantees' efforts to sustain activities and impacts beyond NSF funding.
The college would become part of our sustainability.
This video focuses on the sustainability landscape, including industry trends, the needs of stakeholders, and the competitive environment.
We know we have limited funds and resources ourselves to invest. So we look for guidance from outside as to what should be sustained. All the time asking, can we make it better ourselves in our evaluation mode, which is something we do on a continuous basis. But then also, is there a way we can make it more user-friendly for the stakeholders we have? Can we get them to invest in the activity themselves? And that just takes a little bit of guts asking. I think a key is keeping it ever present in our conversations. We do industry tours, and we've now been able to migrate to where we have our partners becoming empowered themselves and making their own partnerships. And so we feel like that's on a good road to sustainability. And we've just started doing similar work for professional development activities, finding organizations to host and also support teachers to attend events.
You know, Maytech, when it started, had a focus on semiconductor manufacturing technology. Big companies like Intel, Texas Instruments were hiring a lot of technicians, and there was a lot of college programs emerging in the country. But that changed. As the industry demand changed, the automation levels lowered the demand for that type of technician. So we worked with our colleges and broadened to include automation, electronics, and now nanotechnology. So as things changed, we tried to match that change for our colleges.
We're all doing this for somebody, so to us, the audience is really a critical focal point for any strategy. So it means figuring out who they are, how many they are, where they are, and especially what they need from you.
Why is thinking about your audience so important in sustainability planning?
We use the phrase audience in kind of a generic way, but what that really means are the people who benefit, your direct beneficiaries. These could be students, your users, your faculty, anyone you're working with.
Why is it important to think about your competitors as well as your audience when thinking about long-term sustainability planning?
But the logic of thinking about the competitive environment is really potent, and it's something we encourage everyone to do. It means really taking a look around, and if you think about it, figuring out what other things are they doing when they're not working with you? Are there another suite of activities or other people delivering similar things that you might learn from, that you might partner with? If someone else is delivering something that's a little too similar, it may encourage you to slightly shift course. So just being very knowledgeable about everything that's out there is awfully important, and we also know that things change fast. So it's not really a defensive pose against people who are going to do what you do, but it's also being aware of what these big environmental changes are.
We decided with or without funding, we needed to train people in the virtual enterprise pedagogy. Our network is sustained by faculty members adding the pedagogy to their classroom. If we didn't continue training, we wouldn't have new sites and the network would fall apart. Because we wanted to reach a wider audience, we decided to create a video series that follows virtual enterprise students at 4 sites around the United States. The series watches an instructor implement the pedagogy and the students as they implement their projects. The goal is for other instructors who might not be able to afford to come to our New York seminar to learn about virtual enterprise, and also for students in those classrooms that never come to professional development events to get to see what other students are doing in the realm of science and tech entrepreneurship.
It's the environmental landscape. It's the whole landscape. How is funding changing? How are trends in courses and subjects changing? The more people can be aware of the entire landscape that they operate in, the better and smarter and quicker choices they're going to be able to make to do the best work they can do.